Okay, let's review for our first exam. Okay, let's see the first question. Note. So the first question give us a point. And then it says perpendicular. Perpendicular means two lines form 90 degree. Right? 90 degree. So if this line has a slope m1, this line has a slope m2. So remember two lines, we have like a y equals to m1 x plus b1. Well, m1, b1, just some numbers. Another line can be written as m2 x plus b2, right? So if those two lines are form 90 degree, so one slope is the negative inverse of the other. All right, or to see m1 times m2 equals to -1. Same thing, okay? But it's better to remember m2, the slope of the second line, is the opposite inverse of the slope of the first one. So we're going to use this, right? So this line we're trying to find is perpendicular to this one. And this one, the slope is -3. So let's call this m2. m2 is -3. Then we know the slope of m1 is opposite. So negative, negative. Opposite to negative actually is positive, right? Negative and negative is positive. Positive. Inverse, so 1/3. So m1 just 1/3. Let's just erase this. M1 is 1/3. So now with this point, right, you can use either one. If you remember, we use another point called xy. Xy is a representative for any point on the line. Right, so y minus -1. So we use these 2 points, rewrite the slope formula. Y minus -1 divided by x minus 3 at this point equals to 1/3. So minus -1 is plus 1. So we can multiply. We can multiply x minus 3 on both sides. When we have an equation, we can always, multiply the same thing or divide by the same thing on both sides. And then this one is in the numerator. Right? And something divides itself becomes 1. So this cancels this, becomes 1. So we're left with y plus 1 equals to 1/3 of x minus, well, 1/3 times x, 1/3x. 1/3 times 3, just 1. Then we move this -1 to the other side, or we see -1 on both sides. So in the end, we have y equals to 1/3x minus 2. All right, that's for the first type of questions. For the second type, we want to find the points on the curve. So this polynomial degree 3. And the slope is given as 11. Remember, slope of the tangent line equals to, so this, the wording is no good. So this should say whose the slope of the tangent line is 11. Otherwise, it doesn't make sense. Right? How come curve has slope? No way. So the curve, right, tangent line at this point, go through this point has tangent line. Tangent line means a straight line touches the curve at a point. So we know the slope of tangent line equals to the derivative at certain point. Right? So we need to find the points. We need to find the points. So what do? First, we know this is 11, right? It's given. Here is 11. And now second, we know we can find a derivative from this function. So we take a derivative of this function. So that's 9x squared plus 2. So now we work with this equation, right? So we get, so this y you could think as f of x, right? Y, it's equal to f of x in the function world. So we take a derivative of this function, and then we were told the slope of the tangent line is 11, so we equal those two. So we get the equation. So simplify this equation, we get a 9x squared equals to 9, right? We minus 2 on both sides. So x squared equals to 1. We square root of x, so we square root of x squared, so we get a positive 1 and negative 1, two values, right? Because negative 1 squared also positive 1. So when x equals to 1, well, what does y equal to? Y equal to 3 times 1 raised by 3 plus 2 times 1. That's just 5. So get this point 1 comma 5 as 1 point. If x equals negative 1, we go back to the function. We do 3 times negative 1 raised by 3 plus 2 times negative 1. We get negative 5. So we get negative 1, negative 5. 2 points. So this should be our final answer. These 2 points. So these 2 points, on the curve, the tangent line, the slope of the tangent line is 11. But the graph looks like this. Somewhere, it wiggles at a 1 and 5. Let's say maybe this is 1 and 5. The tangent line, the slope is 11. And another one, maybe here, not so good. Should be here, negative 1, because it's negative 1. My graph is not so good. And these two should be parallel. I ruin the graph. It's very difficult to. Oh. So let me try it one more time. So let's see, this is 1. So the graph. So we have 2x, so this goes through 0. It maybe wiggles as somewhere. Then, so the tangent line, let me use the red color. Tangent means the straight line touches the graph, touches the curve at one point. Touches the curve at one point. You see these two, right? These two. So this is a 1 and 5. This one is negative 1, negative 5. So 2 points. That's for the second one. Okay, now I need to erase everything. Okay, now let's say 3. 3, we want to find f prime of 2. So first, use the limit definition. The limit definition means derivative of a function equals limit h approaches 0, f of x plus h minus f of x divided by h. So we need to do step by step. So use this formula. So the first step would be find f of x plus h. So the input now is x plus h. The function is the same. How is the function acting? They said square the input minus 3 times the input, then plus 1. So now the input is x plus h. So we do x plus h squared minus 3 times x plus h plus 1. Then we need to simplify. So we simplify this perfect square, right? X plus h times x plus h. X times x, x squared. H times h, h squared. Then we have two middle terms. We have h times x, which is xh. X times h, xh. So plus, so this is 1, this is 1, so we have 2. Plus 2 times xh. Then minus 3 times x, minus 3 times h, plus 1. So this is f of x plus h. Now let's write, so we need to subtract, right? So we need to subtract, let me change the color. F of x, so let's rewrite f of x. F of x equals to x squared minus 3x plus 1, right? So we need to subtract. To the numerator. So we subtract this. We see x squared, subtract this, they cancel. Subtract, cancel, subtract, cancel. So f of x plus h minus f of x becomes 2xh plus h squared minus 3h. Everyone has h as a factor, so 2x plus h minus 3. Then, lastly, we need to divide by h in the formula right here. So we need to divide by h, so it says right down here, divide by h. You see these two canceled. So left with 2x plus h minus 3. Then we take a limit of that, right? Because we have this limit part. So now this becomes, take a limit, h approaches 0, 2x plus h minus 3. Well, we can plug in h to be 0. So that equals 2x minus 3. So this is the answer for this, for number 3. Okay, that's that. Oh, didn't finish because we need to find f prime of 2, right? So now we find through the definition of limit, so we get 2x minus 3. You can also get it from power rule, right? But if you get it from power rule, you don't get credits because this asks you to go through limit definition. So now with this, we can plug in f prime of 2. So 2 times 2 minus 3. 2 times 2, 4, minus 3 equals 1. So the final answer is 1. Right? Because we need to find f prime of 2. Now, let's see this one. This one, if we plug in negative 3 into this, we get denominator to be 0. So we need to factor this. So factor out 2 from the numerator. And denominator we can factor out as x plus 3, x minus 4. Then we see common denominator, we see common factors in the numerator, in the denominator, x plus 3. And they cancel each other. So the limit x approach to 3, 2 over x minus 4. Now we have no problem to plug in -3 for x. So we get a 2 over -7. So that's -2 over 7. When the limit goes to infinity or negative infinity, we use ignore rule. So we cancel, we just ignore the lower terms. So this equals to the limit of x approaching infinity. So taking the leading term. Taking the leading term of the numerator, the leading term means the variable has the highest exponent. So then x squared divided by x squared canceled. Right, so we have -3 over 9. That's -1 over 3. All right. Lastly, this one also, we need to multiply. We need to, perform some tricks. And this trick is to multiply square root of x plus 6 plus 3. Divides itself. Basically, we're multiplying by 1. Then the numerator becomes, remember, a minus b times a plus b becomes a squared minus b squared. So in this case, we have square root of x plus 6 is a, so a squared minus 3 squared. So that's x plus 6, because square root cancel each other, minus 9. So that becomes x minus 3. So the numerator, we have x minus 3. The denominator, we have x squared minus 9. That can be factored as x minus 3, x plus 3. Then multiply by this a plus b, x plus 6 plus 3. Again, we have x minus 3 divides itself. So cancelled. So we're left with numerator left with 1. Denominator will have x plus 3 times square root of x plus 6 plus 3. Now we can plug in 3. But in the beginning, we cannot. If we plug in 3 in the beginning, we get 0 in the denominator. And now we could. So just plug in. We get 3 plus 3 times the square root of 3 plus 6 plus 3. And that becomes 1 over 3 plus 3, 6 times square root of 9 is 3. 3 plus 3, another 6. So that's 1 over 36. Now let's see 7. So we want to find f prime of 1. Now we can use power rule, right? So derivative of f power rule, 6x squared minus 2x plus 3. So we plug in 1 for x. That's 6 times 1 squared minus 2 times 1 plus 3. 6 plus 3, 9. 9 minus 2, 7. Okay, so this equals to 7. Let's see, 8. We want to take derivative of h. Right. First, we take this one to have 6 times x raised by 3 minus 5x plus 1 raised by 5. Now multiply by the derivative of inside, which is 3x squared minus 5. Now we need to find h prime of 1. Just plug in 1 for x. 1 cube is 1. 1 times 5 is 5. Then plus 1 raised by 5 times 3 times 1 squared is 3 minus 5. So I have 1 minus 5 minus 4 plus 1 minus 3. So I have minus 3 raised by 5 times -2. 3 minus 5, -2. Right, 3 times 5, -3 times 5 is negative number. Negative number times negative number, positive number. You can use a calculator, right? 3 divided by 5 equals 3 times 3, 3 times 3 times 3, 5 times. Get 9, get 9. 9 times 9, 81. 81 times 3, 243. So 243 times 2, which is 486. Okay, 9. So given G, we want to find the equation of the tangent line to the graph when x equals 1. Okay, so when x equals 1, G of 1 equals to 2, right? 2 times 1 raised by 3, well, still 2. So the point given is 1 comma 2. We have this point. Now we need to find the slope. So we need to take a derivative. G prime is 6x squared. Then at x value equals 1, so G prime of 1 equals 6. Okay, so we use another point xy. Okay, so y minus 2 divided by x minus 1 equals to the slope 6. Then again, we multiply x minus 1 on both sides. So y minus 2 equals 6 times x minus 1. Y equals to 6x minus 6. Move this negative 2 to the other side, become plus 2. So y equals 6x minus 4. So this is it. So this is a tangent line, the equation of the tangent line. Okay, let's say 10. A manufacturer profit from producing X units, so X represents how many units of the product is given by profit P of X equals to this polynomial degree 3 function. So what's the marginal profit? Remember, marginal profit is a derivative, right? Or given 10 units, so when X equals to 10, so we want to find a P prime of 10. So first, let's find P prime of X. Use power rule. 3 times that 0.003 x squared minus 0.02 x plus 2.5. Then plug in 10 for x. So I have 0.03 times 10 squared, which is 100, minus 0.02 times 10 plus 2.5. Well, 100 cubes 2 zeros, right? So this becomes 0.3, 0.3. Then minus 0.02 times 10 becomes 0.2 plus 2.5. Wait, 0.3 minus 0.2 equals 0.1. 0.1 plus 2.5, 2.6. All right, you could use a calculator for the decimals. Okay, now let's see 11. So this function is called a piecewise function. Piecewise function, right? So in the domain from negative 1 to 3, it acts as 2x plus 8 as a linear function. In the domain, so domain is x-axis, right? Imagine this, we have this x-axis. The value goes from, let's see, this is negative 1. This may be 0. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So in the dome, so from negative 1 to 3, from negative 1 here up to positive value 3, the function acts as 2x plus 8. Well, let me draw the y-axis function. So 2, so let's say this is 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. 2x plus 8. A is some value we don't know. But somewhat because the slope is 2. So it's a linear function, right? It acts somehow You know, because of this A, we don't really know where this A is yet, but it's linear. It's somewhere, something like this. Let me just draw temporarily, okay? With a slope of 2 from -1 up to 3. From -1 up to 3. I shouldn't go over -1. Then from 3 to 4, it acts as x squared. Well, remember what's x squared? X squared like that. Right? X squared like this. If it's 1, 1 is 1. 2 is 4. A parabola. Parabola. It's a parabola. From 3 to 4. From 3 to 4. So which means we do not have this part. Oh, yeah. So only from 3 to 4 acts like that. Something like this. 3 to 4. Then from 4 to 5 acts again like some linear function. Right? This linear function, if b is negative, it goes downward. If b is positive, it goes upward. So the question is asking what values of a and b will make the function continuous on the interval from -1 to 5. So which means this function value at 3 should be this function value at 3. So which means 2 times 3 plus a should equals to 3 squared. Right? Because you see this 3, this 3. They should be touching each other. So this should overlap. So 2 times 3, 6, plus a equals 9. So a equals to 3. Right? 9 minus 6. So a equals should be 3. So this should be 2x plus 3. So a is 3. Now what's b? Well, x squared evaluated at 4 should be bx plus a evaluated at 4. So basically 4 squared should be b times 4 plus 8. Well, 4 squared is 16 equals 4 times b plus 8. Means 4 times b equals 16 minus a, which is 8. So b equals to 2. B equals to 2. Okay. Okay, now let's see 12. Okay, 12 is saying the graph is given. State the x value for which function is not continuous. Well, obviously is at x equals 2, right? X equals 2, you see on the left-hand side is here. It's this graph. On the right-hand side is this graph. So this is a disconnect. So x equals 2, not continuous. Continuous but not differentiable. Remember the sharp point, right? It's continuous, but it's not differentiable. So the x value is -1. Right? Differentiable because the slope of from the left-hand side is this. Slope from the right-hand side is this. So, right, we have 2 tangent lines. So which one we should follow? So at this point, it's not differentiable. Derivative is 0. Remember, derivative is 0 means the tangent line is horizontal. What's the x value? X value is 1. Okay, last question. 13. Find the second derivative. Right, let's find the first derivative. So first derivative equals to -12 times 3 over 2 x raised by 3 halves minus 1 equals to 3 halves minus 2 over 2. That's 1 half. So x raised by 1 half plus 6x. -12 divided by 2, -6. -6 times 3, negative 18, x raised by half plus 6x, right? This is the first derivative. Now we're going to take a derivative of the first derivative. So we do negative 18 times half. Now x raised by half minus 1, negative half. Then plus 6, right? Derivative of 6x, just 6. Now this becomes negative 18 multiplied by half is negative 9, x raised by negative half plus 6. We need to find at the function value, at the x value equals to 1. So plug in 1 for x. That's negative 9 times 1 raised by negative half. Well, 1 raised by any number is still 1. So 1 times negative 9 is still negative 9. Plus 6, so negative 3. So this equals to negative 3. And that's it.